Okay, let's do number 11 now. So for 11, again, I keep doing the same thing to begin with. Figure out what is the hypotenuse, and then figure out the legs. Because now that I know the legs are equal, and I know n equals 2. These two are the same. That's 2, so that's 2. And then I use the equation hypotenuse equals leg times the square root of 2 to figure out m, or the hypotenuse. So I put m instead of the hypotenuse, and I just figured out the leg is 2, and then bring down that square root of 2, and then that's it. You can't do anything else with that. You can't, because this 2, it doesn't have a square root, you can't combine it with that one. Too bad they're not all like this, huh? Too bad. I'm going to wait on number 12. I might have to do 12 on a different piece of paper because of all my other work. But let me jump to 13. So 13, same idea. Let's figure out what's the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is across the 90-degree angle. This is the hypotenuse. And this is the leg, and this is the leg. Now I don't know what the leg measure is because they're both the variables. But I do know the hypotenuse is square root of 10. Okay, so I start with my equation. Hypotenuse is leg times the square root of 2. So I just said the hypotenuse is the square root of 10, so I'm going to do some substitution. For the leg, I can use either one of these letters, M or N. I'm just going to choose M. Now I want to figure out what M is. So I want to get that by itself. And this is technically M times the square root of 2. So to get rid of the square root of 2, we divide both sides by the square root of 2. That cancels. We technically get 1, but... And then remember, when you have this, you can put it underneath 1 square root. And then you go 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then that's what m is. Okay? I mean, we could have just said 10 divided by 2 is 5 and left it as a square root of 5. But you technically put it under 1 square root and then divide. Okay. Oh, that's m. And then n is the same thing. Because, again, the legs are equal. Right? So then I'm just going to put n over here. Only because I have more space over here. So these two are the same. Okay. So let's go to 14. I haven't forgot about 12. But 12 I might have to do last. Figure out what the hypotenuse is. Here's the hypotenuse. This is the leg. This is the leg. Again, I don't know the leg measures, but I know the hypotenuse. So I'm going to go ahead and write my equation. Now, if you're lazy about writing the equation, it's going to be difficult for you to do this. Okay? Always start with the equation, substitute what you know, and simplify. The hypotenuse is the square root of 2. That's the hypotenuse. The leg is either A or B. I'm just going to put A. A times the square root of 2, well, you need to divide by the square root of 2. That goes away. This is A. Remember what I just did a second ago? I put them both underneath the same square root and then divided. Now, if you left it like this, I'd give it to you, but technically the square root of 1 is 1. So it's A equals 1. And then B, I'll put it here, also equals 1. Because these are the legs, and the legs are equal. The legs are equal. Okay? So let me jump to 15. 15 and 16 are easy. Sometimes you can see the pattern. Remember, the hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. And check out what we got here. 4 times the square root of 2. Check out what this is. Leg times the square root of 2. Wasn't the leg just 4? It is, actually. But I'll show you why. The hypotenuse is 4 times the square root of 2. The leg, let's just go ahead and call it x, because this is a leg. Divide by square root of 2. Divide by square root of 2. That cancels. That cancels. 4 equals x. Okay? And then that's also y, because they're equal. With that being said, whenever the hypotenuse, whenever you have the hypotenuse, well, let's just maybe you guys don't see it just yet. But anyway, you should always start with the equation. Okay, hypotenuse equals leg times the square root of 2. This one down here is the hypotenuse, and these are legs. So you have 3 square root of 2 equals leg square root of 2. That means the 3 has to equal the leg, because I know this part is equal. Or anyway, divide. Oh, I should have put x. Divide by square root of 2, divide by square root of 2. Leg equals 3. Okay, and that's actually x equals 3, y equals 3. Not bad. I changed it up on you guys down towards the end. Oh, hopefully you guys could see that. I was off to the side, huh? So that was 13, 14, 15, and 16. Let me go back to number 12. Number 12, I don't have a lot of space here, so I'm going to do it on this other paper. Again, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing though. That's the hypotenuse, and then these are legs. Okay, so I'm going to say the hypotenuse equals the leg times the square root of 2. The hypotenuse is 8. The leg, I can use either x or y. And then I'm going to divide by the square root of 2. I divide by the square root of 2 because I want to get the x by itself. And then this is kind of like one of the ones at the top. You cannot leave a square root in the denominator. So you multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 2. And remember, this is just 2, because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. And then you should look at this and be like, oh, I need to divide these. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Don't forget the square root of 2. That's x. And that's y. Because these are the legs. Okay. So pause that right now and grab your answers.